The Golden Pegasus of Mount Olympus sparkles. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Loved the Sky. Long ago, in a small village near the shining blue sea of Mount Olympus, lived a kind and curious boy named Theo. Theo was only 10 years old, but he dreamed of flying among the clouds like the mighty gods and magical creatures from old Greek legends. Every evening, he climbed a tall hill and watched the sunset paint the sky gold and pink. Someday, Theo whispered, I will have a great adventure. One windy night, something magical happened. A glowing feather floated down from the sky and landed softly in Theo's hands. The feather shimmered with golden light. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the air. Find the golden Pegasus before the shadow beast awakens. Theo looked around in surprise. Who said that? He asked nervously. But the hill was empty. Only the feather glowed brighter. Chapter 2. The Secret Cave. The next morning, Theo followed the glowing feather into the forest. The feather floated ahead like a tiny lantern. After walking for hours, he discovered a hidden cave behind a waterfall. Inside the cave stood an old woman wearing silver robes. She smiled kindly. I am Lyra, she said, guardian of the Pegasus. Theo's eyes widened. Pegasus? The magical flying horse. Lyra nodded. The golden Pegasus protects the light of Greece. But an evil shadow beast is trying to steal its power. She handed Theo a crystal necklace. You have been chosen to help. Theo felt both excited and scared. But I'm just a boy, he said softly. Lyra smiled again. The bravest heroes always begin as ordinary children. Chapter 3. The Golden Pegasus. Lyra led Theo deep inside the cave. At the end of a glowing tunnel stood the most beautiful creature Theo had ever seen. A giant golden Pegasus. Its wings sparkled like sunlight on water. Its eyes were gentle and wise. The Pegasus bowed its head toward Theo. Theo carefully touched its shining mane. At that moment, the cave filled with warm golden light. You have a pure heart, Lyra said. The Pegasus trusts you. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. Roar! A terrible roar echoed from outside. The shadow beast is awake, cried Lyra. Dark smoke rushed into the cave. The Pegasus spread its enormous wings. Theo, Lyra said urgently, you must ride the Pegasus to the Temple of Light before darkness covers the kingdom. Theo took a deep breath and climbed onto the Pegasus. Whoosh! They soared into the sky. Chapter 4. Flight Above the Clouds. Theo flew high above the mountains and oceans. The cold wind rushed past him. Below, villages flickered with tiny lights. But dark clouds followed them across the sky. Inside the clouds appeared the shadow beast. It had glowing red eyes and giant black claws. The creature roared loudly. The Pegasus dodged through the storm. Theo held tightly to its mane. Then he remembered the crystal necklace. It must have magic, he shouted. The necklace began glowing brightly. A beam of golden light burst from the crystal and struck the shadow beast. The monster screamed and disappeared into the darkness. The storm slowly faded away. We did it. Theo laughed happily. The Pegasus neighed proudly. Together, they continued flying toward the Temple of Light. Chapter 5 The Hero of Greece. At Sunrise, Theo and the Pegasus reached the ancient temple. Theo placed the glowing feather on the altar. Instantly, the temple lit up with golden fire. Warm light spread across the land. Flowers bloomed again. Birds sang loudly. The darkness was gone. The gods of Mount Olympus smiled upon Theo's bravery. The golden Pegasus gently lowered its head. "You will always be my friend," Theo whispered. With one final majestic cry, the Pegasus soared into the bright morning sky. Theo returned home as a hero. And every evening, when he looked toward the clouds, he could sometimes see golden wings shining in the sunset. Moral of the story: glowing star. True courage comes from kindness, bravery, and believing in yourself.